Intro music.
Overview narration.
Doctor!
My name is Joey,
My name is James.
and this is the Brothers Padre.
And in this very special episode, the Brothers Padres celebrates our 100th episode. I know, right?
100, buddy.
Uh-huh.
Good job.
Good job. High five.
I didn't think you'd last. I'll be honest. I bet the under.
You bet the under. You thought you were going to be sitting here across another brother.
Right.
I mean, it's true. We have other brothers, but...
Right.
Well, in this special episode, Joey, we are going to discuss a little-known TV show that all San Diego Padre fans, if they were true Padre fans,
Right.
would watch. And would you believe it? Out of all the millions, if not billions of hours of entertaining content, this is the only show about the San Diego Padres?
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
And it was a show called Pitch, and that's what we're going to be discussing.
Yes, we are.
It premiered September 22nd, 2016 on Fox. It is the show about the first female pitcher in Major League Baseball history. Mm-hmm. And it's about the trials and tribulations of the San Diego Padres dealing with the stresses of having a female on their team and their star players. And it only lasted 10 episodes. Every episode, I was going to say better than the last, but that's
just not true.
That's not true. And then it also has the two main characters, Ginny Baker, who is played by that one girl who was one of the supporting actors from the show Game Night, the movie Game Night. Underrated comedy, go see it. And then the character Mike Lawson, that was played by Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Real heavy hitters. Real heavy hitters.
Hey, you know what? They're the two.
It's actually not that bad of an acted show. It's not that terrible.
It's actually, I mean, so you want to get into it?
Oh, I have thoughts, James. I have very specific thoughts about this show.
We both watched all 10 episodes. Some of us watched a few episodes more than once, just because I wanted to get stats. Let me just say this. Zach from Saved by the Bell and that girl from Game Night, again, underrated comedy, go see it. Everyone should. It's one of the best comedies the last 5 years. Fantastic. Every time they were on the screen together, their chemistry was great. You believed he was because he plays a first-round Hall of Fame catcher, and she plays this young rookie sensation whose hero growing up was this catcher. Their chemistry was brilliant.
Yeah.
Every time they were on the screen together, great. The show falls apart with every other character.
The show, well, continue.
The main problem with this show is its use of flashbacks.
It's not great. Not great. It feels like someone should re-edit the show and just like take all the flashbacks and make it the first 2 episodes. It'd probably be better.
Yes, exactly. Every time there was something dramatic that you think they're going to explain something, flashback.
Yeah.
Flashback, my dad's a jerk. Flashback.
And obviously are we going to talk about spoilers? Do we care about spoilers? Are we in that past the half-life of spoilers? Can we just talk about the show?
We're going to talk about the show.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like they really dropped the ball. So the show is obviously about Ginny Baker is this young female player who her dad basically taught her the screwball, taught her how to throw that pitch, and it made her competitive.
She can throw a screwball and a curveball with the same arm slot, and that's why she's in the big leagues.
And, that part of it, I like that part of the story. I thought they really, spoilers or whatever, 7 years old, 6 years old. I can't do math. Like, you find out the dad dies. Like that should be like episode 9. It happens way too early. You're told that he dies early. Like you should have just like dragged it on a little bit, because nothing is more compelling than a late season death, and they just really really screwed the pooch on that one. I don't know. I immediately dropped a letter grade in my mind because they had this death in their back pocket and they used it way too early.
Oh no, the main flaw of the show is, well, it's storytelling and it's writing.
right.
But the best, I mean, again, everything was done by flashbacks.
Right.
And they used every flashback trope there was. The first episode, she kept talking to her dad like he was there, but turns out he died before she made it to the majors.
Right.
So it was just, the ghost of a person flashback.
Yeah.
And then they did a whole episode where it was Rashomon, where they were trying to find Ginny Baker, and they kept on going from different perspectives where she was. And then literally the last episode of the 10 episodes was a remake of the movie For Love of the Game.
Right.
And for those of you who don't know, For Love of the Game is the worst baseball movie ever made.
It's definitely in the bottom tier. It's in. I mean, I don't want to say Air Bud 3 is better. Also featuring the San Diego Padres, by the way. So
Really?
Come to think about it, you and I both forgot that the beloved Air Bud 3.
You're the one with small children. I don't watch them. I am unfamiliar with the cinematic universe of the Airbuds.
Not great. So For Love of the Game, Air Bud 3, or it could be 4. I don't remember. The Air Bud baseball one. That both bottom tier baseball movies. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's everything I didn't like about this show.
Yeah.
Oh, and all the other characters. I cannot emphasize enough how bad all the other characters are. Everybody else in the dugout, everybody else in the team were okay, but every time they tried to involve their lives, it was all stupid.
I have some very big bones to pick. Maybe small bones to pick. You pick small bones. If bones are in your teeth, they're small, right?
Fish bones. They're small bones.
That's a small, yeah. People always say I got a big bone to pick. What kind of stuff are you eating? Got big bones in it and getting stuck in your teeth. Regardless, pitch TV show on Fox, 2017. Go back on track. The first game, she pitches 10 straight balls and she gets yanked out of the game, right? So, and then there was this big conflict around, she shouldn't be in the majors. Well, just hold the phone for a second. She's literally the first female pitcher in history, and you're gonna threaten to push her down after a 10 straight ball outing. We just saw Josh Hader do that. So let's pump the brakes here a little bit. I thought that was I'm not saying the GM, whose actor name I forgot, who plays the GM of the Padres, not AJ Preller, by the way. Not very accurate. So another letter grade. How funny would it be if the pitch show was try to be accurate to the Padres? Dave Cameron was there and AJ Preller.
Well, I was going to say the things that they do have a lot of Easter eggs for San Diego Padre fans. Sure. I appreciate it on that point. The catcher played by Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell grew up in Poway.
Yeah.
All right. He has car dealerships all across the county. Famously, Tony Gwynn lived in Poway and owned parts of car dealerships all across the county. That was great. The guy that was the manager of the Padres, clearly New York accent.
Yeah.
Born and raised in San Francisco. Famously, Jerry Coleman, born and raised in San Francisco.
Right.
Also once was a manager and played for the Yankees. So I don't know if they were trying to make that or they were just bad writing.
I think the casting director quit an eighth of the way through the show. I think I nailed the 2 leads. I'm done, right?
Exactly.
I'm good, right? Yeah. Bone in the rest.
I like all that.
Can we talk about Mike Lawson's character? The character Mike Lawson,
played by Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. Yeah,
I don't know, buddy.
You know, I really wanted at one point. This might be over the heads of some of our younger listeners. When Mike Lawson asks for a timeout, the whole world stops. Zach Morris' superpower in Saved by the Bell. People forget that show was about a superhero, and it was Zach Morris who could literally stop time.
Yep.
Anyways, what were you saying?
I was gonna say he later in the show, the Padres have a star catcher prospect, and this is very similar to our current problem we have. Not really the Padres in 2022 season, but basically he gets mad that he has to learn that they would even threaten him to learn first base. And I was just like, buddy, just learn first base. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where the show like made him so prideful about being a catcher, but you know, it's just one of those things where like no catcher would ever be mad about that. Like Buster Posey learned first base. And you have the stats for him. He's like a legit stud player. It wasn't like he was an alien player who had to move someplace else.
So they did an interesting job of not mentioning too many stats.
Right.
What they mentioned about Mike Lawson on this show was several Gold Gloves, has been a perennial all-star starter for pretty much his entire career, and offhandedly, the manager said, because Mike Lawson shows up late for the first day, and Ginny Baker's like, where's Mike Lawson? Because, you know, she grew up liking him. And he said, well, he's always late. But when you drive in 130 RBIs every year, you can do that. And they never actually say his total stats. But if we were to take that he's played 16 years, and every year he drives in 130 RBIs, this is how much homework I did for this episode, Joe. Do you know how many 130 times 16 comes to?
Not off the top of my head, no.
2,080.
It's really good. Very good.
That would rank him 5th in all time of RBIs. It would go Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, and Mike Lawson. So, and he was only played, all those guys played for 20 plus years. He played for 16. That makes him the greatest offensive production in, not even just a catcher, of all time.
Right. Yeah.
So, on one hand, I'm like, if he's doing that kind of production, he wants to stay a catcher, you make him stay a catcher.
It's true. Good point. Also, like, it feels weird to me that she liked him so much growing up, and she's not a catcher. Is that a weird thing to be bothered by? Like, she didn't, like, you don't see, you know, like Joe Musgrove didn't say his favorite player was Khalil Green of the Padre.
Well,
he said Jake Peavy.
Let me put it this way, Joey.
Okay.
I have more than a dozen Tony Gwynn cards.
Sure. I
grew up, you remember this, you were in the same house, with a Tony Gwynn poster on my wall.
Yes.
I don't play the outfield. I do a podcast about the Padres.
Okay. You know, on second thought, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I thought that they could. I think the show could have been better if they. I actually thought, honestly, that a second season would have made the show better, because you just get like that. Well, let me caveat: if the second season had zero flashbacks and actually had real baseball stories, it actually would be a okay to find show. But sadly, it never got renewed.
And I cannot stress enough how much the flashbacks are annoying.
Yeah.
Just like every time anything dramatic's going to happen, the camera there's all those flashing lights, and then it cuts to a flashback. And it's Ginny Baker's life and Mike Larson's life keep flashing back. But all that being said, there are still things. I mean, for instance, one of the things I really like about this show, Mark Grant's in it.
Oh yeah.
there is an Emmy award-winning performance in this show, and it's got to be from Mark Grant. Mark Grant and Dick Enberg did the commentary on some of the games. But the problem was the other half of the games was done by Joe Buck, and anything with Joe Buck in it obviously goes down 10 points. So I realize it's a Fox show and Joe Buck's a Fox announcer.
Right.
But nobody likes Joe Buck.
It's true.
Joe Buck doesn't even like Joe Buck. An impossible show to like, but I love it. Like
I mean, it's our 100th episode. We can get a little personal.
Okay.
You have really bad taste in TV shows. So. Oh, you think I was going to say something soft and sentimental? No. I wasn't going there. Yeah, so I'm not super surprised by the comment. Famously, you love bad science fiction shows. Admittedly, you would say they're bad science fiction shows, and you'd still like them. You have a soft spot for sentimentality.
I rewatched a couple of my favorite episodes of Stargate SG-1 last night.
Totally fine. Totally fair. You and I have a very different view on that kind of entertainment.
Let me say the reason why I love this show so much.
Okay, I'm ready.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Aware of it, yes.
All right.
Also set in San Diego.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Simon and Simon.
Yes. That stalwart of entertainment that more than 5
I had to look up what shows are based in San Diego.
Okay.
So I didn't even know that show existed. All right.
Okay.
And now and there's another show, a short-lived show around the same time called Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me an Air Bud show.
Yeah.
It's
No. The Padres were in the Air Bud show. San Diego wasn't featured. They were wearing San Diego Padres jersey were in the Air Buds movie.
Oh. Well, in that case, then Spy Game, because Brad Pitt runs around with a San Diego Padre hat.
This is when you know that San Diego is a true two-horse sports town. Yeah. When we're reaching for when Brad Pitt wore a hat, we're like, it must be a Padres show.
He was famously, his character from that movie was from Temecula, and he grew up like in San Diego, so who knows? Anyways, I discovered I know too much about that movie all of a sudden. Anyways, so my point is,
yeah,
with the vast amount of entertainment based in San Diego that actually admits it's from San Diego, like there's another show called Animal Kingdom that's out right now about crooks in Oceanside. It's okay. And there are several shows that were filmed in San Diego but didn't take place in San Diego. Like Veronica Mars was filmed in San Diego, but they said it took place in some other made-up Southern California city. So of all of the content made in San Diego, which one of those do you think is the best?
Do we count Top Gun?
You have to. Scratch that. Top Gun 1 and 2, they're the best, obviously.
Well, so I don't know. So I know, because we're deep in this discussion now, okay. So I might as well go full bore with it. There is a restaurant in downtown San Diego that like their whole thing is they're the Top Gun restaurant that's featured in the film. Was there other scenes besides that one shot here? Well,
no. All of the Maverick was filmed in San Diego in Coronado.
Okay.
So was the original one. The Top Gun house is still there, and that's a tourist trap. I've been to the Top Gun house, and so So
I guess I don't like it because it wasn't. They don't say it's San Diego, right? It's like
they do. They say it's Coronado. They say it's
As also a clear distinction between you and I is that you remember Top Gun. I watched it once, like, I'm never watching this ever again.
So I have
we're learning a lot about our content choices in this episode.
A weird memory. I don't like Top Gun.
You literally just told me last week you enjoyed watching Top Gun.
I like Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
I found it enjoyable.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was great. It was enjoyable.
Okay.
The first Top Gun movie is cheesy.
No, it's really stupid.
Oh, you know what also is based in San Diego partially was that new Chris Pratt movie the TV show where he's the terminalist because he's a Navy SEAL. And they
Not to be confused with The Terminal with Tom Hanks.
No, I believe he was stuck somewhere in New York. I got paid to watch that movie one day.
That's right. James famously used to work at not TV. I worked at a TV station. You worked at a movie theater.
This is true.
I watched really garbage public access TV for a living, and you watched real films. And got paid for them.
This is true. Yeah. Anyways, so out of all the content in San Diego, let's rank it, all right?
Okay, I'm ready.
I think the first Top Gun movie's probably it.
I think probably from it has to be it, right? Because even if I don't like it, you have to appreciate the cultural phenomenon that it is.
Top Gun Maverick is going to be probably one of the biggest and when it's all said and done, makes more money than most.
Well,
movies
hold the phone. Was the second Jurassic Park in San Diego?
I was going to bring that up as one of the downsides.
Okay. Never mind. I won't stop it. Keep going.
All right. So,
okay.
Top Gun Maverick and Top Gun 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then it takes a kind of the terminal list, and then it sort of takes a sharp dive in quality. Mm-hmm. I would probably put in the top 5 best content based around San Diego. Top Gun 2, Top Gun 1, Terminal List, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Pitch.
I like that list. I'd probably agree with that. I really like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which also tells a lot about me.
For someone who just made fun of how trashy I like TV, and you just said you like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and for those of you that haven't watched Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, do yourself a favor and watch this true masterpiece in garbage.
Yeah, it's schlock filming. It's
completely filmed in San Diego.
Yeah.
And there's a famous scene where there's a bunch of San Diegans being led by the San Diego Chicken running, and they're all stomping killer tomatoes. And in that scene, you can see our uncle.
Yeah, true.
He was one of the extras.
Yep.
They basically hired anybody on the street.
Right. So I will say I agree with that. I would probably is San Diego's had a very complicated history with Anchorman because of just what it is. We don't really like San Diego. Believe it or not, don't like hearing quotes from Anchorman over and over again.
It is the most annoying. You say you're from San Diego, anywhere in the country, everyone quotes Anchorman to you.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Yeah. So I
equivalent to if you meet somebody from Korea and they say I'm from Korea and you start Gangnam Style in front of them.
Yeah,
that's how offensive
that's what it feels.
Is.
Yeah. I feel like I have to give it an honorable mention just because of the cultural prevalence. But besides that, I totally agree with your list. And I can't believe we just ranked the top 5 pieces of content San Diego has provided, but we just did.
Because you'd have to go. It's clearly in the top 5. The worst you have to go with. I've not seen it, but I can't imagine it's any good.
I don't think no, they're literally. It's not. They're not. They didn't film it in a real.
You know what I've just decided?
What?
I don't care here anymore.
You might be surprised to know about this, but it's not a good film.
I'm not surprised to know about this. But Jurassic Park 2, terrible movie. Mm-hmm. It belongs to the bottom of the list. Mr. Sunshine was a terrible comedy. It belongs to the bottom of the list. And then everything else is just kind of meh.
Yeah.
I don't know what Simon & Simon was even about, but apparently it was a detective show about guys wearing cowboy hats in San Diego. That alone, bottom of the list.
True. Yeah. I don't know if I'd go back to Pitch. I don't know if I'd recommend it, if I'm being completely honest with you. I thought it was fine. I think it's remarkably better than most CW Fox shows like that. Like there is, and it might just be because San Diego, the Padres, baseball, and I'm already in all 3 of those things, right? I feel like if you want to watch an interesting show and you don't take it too seriously, I might recommend it. It's just the show ends on a cliffhanger, which
she's pitching a perfect game against the Dodgers.
Yep.
Before the game started, they mentioned that she's having some arm problems. This will be her last start before they send her down because they don't want to hurt her arm.
Right.
And this show is literally an exact remake of For Love of the Game, this episode.
Right.
Because every time they just kept on flashing back to the day before and then cutting forward and flashing back and cutting forward. And she flashbacks to her firing her manager, which is probably one of the most useless characters I've ever seen written in any show, is the woman that plays her.
Yeah, not really a functional character.
Yeah. And so just like flashing back and forth, and it ends with her, some dastardly Dodger dropping a bunt.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the unwritten rules of baseball.
Right.
And she picks up the ball and she slides, and she makes a great throw and gets the guy out on first and blows out her arm.
Yep.
And the last scene of the show is her getting an MRI.
Yep. So I have some issues with that. For one, she doesn't throw that hard, for one.
Well, I wrote that down. So I wanted to find out stats about her.
Yeah.
Because, again, the show did a really good job of not telling stats, other than that 130 RBI, 16. They don't say the grand total. I had to do the math.
Right.
Her fastest pitch is 87 miles an hour, which is 12 miles an hour faster than any woman has ever thrown from the mound. So, good job, Ginny Baker.
I guess
Played by the actress from...
Yeah. I guess if you put it that way, that she literally broke the physical record of any female pitcher before by 12. Maybe she did blow her elbow. If that's the case. It just seems to me like it doesn't seem to track with my sports science mind of being like, she didn't really pitch a lot in high school, right? She was noticeably not like...
Because her dad kept on training in the backyard. Her dad was a former minor league pitcher.
Right. And maybe it feels like she hadn't thrown enough pitches to blow out her elbow yet. Okay. But I don't know. I'm not.
But like I said,
I'm not Dr. Neil Andrews.
The things I like about this show really was those two main characters.
Yeah.
And like they did a good job making, like, this would be tough for anybody in this position. They did things like they gave her number 43, one away from Jackie Robinson, so that all this extra pressure they got to add on her. And the thing that I really liked is how they wrote Mark Larson's character. Or is it Mike Larson? Mike Larson's character. I keep saying Mark.
I think Lawson, too.
Mike Lawson's character. I wrote down.
Sure he did.
Mike Larson's character. What I like about it is he is arrogant, but also he's a first round Hall of Famer.
Right.
My favorite line of the show, and I wrote it down, Mike Lawson at one point of the show starts dating Ginny Baker's agent.
Yeah.
And she asked him, when did you start playing baseball? And he said he was 9 when he first started playing baseball. And she said, let me guess, you weren't really good at it, but you stuck with it, and then you made your dream come true. And his response was probably the best line of the whole show. No, I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. I was good pretty much the second I grabbed a bat.
Yeah.
I'm awesome at this game. I love that line. I just think it's like you never hear anyone write like that because, of course, you want to add a little bit more drama. No, I drive in 130 runs every year. I'm a catcher.
Right.
Famously, there's only been 3 seasons where a catcher has driven 130 RBIs.
Right. Johnny
Bench did it twice, and so did Pudge Rodriguez. So I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm great at this game. So like I said, I don't like the show, but I think it's a must watch. And you have to, if you're a true San Diego Padres fan, you have to at least be aware of it.
Yes, I agree.
And if you like San Diego, because as we've discussed, there's not a lot of content about San Diego.
No.
Famously, NCIS, there's an NCIS Los Angeles. You know where NCIS does not have an agency in or a headquarters in anywhere in this country?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Yeah. You know where they have 4 of them?
Yeah.
San Diego. Yeah. You know where their main office is outside of DC? San Diego. So
I will say NCIS. I'm not sad about that one.
No, neither am I. I'm just saying this is the kind of disrespect we get here in San Diego.
I get it.
One more person tells me how good the tacos are in Los Angeles, I'm going to be violent.
James, 100 episodes. Good job, buddy.
Yeah. You know what? I've said this before. Maybe not here. Actually, no, for a fact, I'm not here. I don't like the idea of wearing a jersey with somebody's name on it that I'm older than.
Yeah.
So Gwynn all day long. Hoffman, no problem. I'd wear a Mike Lawson jersey.
Can you imagine?
I would just love walking with a Mike Lawson jersey just to see what people think.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
So that was Pitch. I know it wasn't a really good breakdown, but
yeah, I mean it's a show that does exist. That is true. And like I said, your recommendation is perfect. If you like baseball, like Padres,
you like San Diego,
give it a shot. It's on Hulu, right? Nowadays,
I believe so. That's why I watched it. Was on Hulu.
I never know because I always feel like I recommend shows and they move and they end up on HBO Max and they get deleted forever. Ooh, topical. Ever so topical. James, what are we going to do on episode 200? What piece of content are we going to review on episode 200?
I think, honestly,
yeah,
because it is featured,
yeah,
we should talk about Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
We need to do an episode maybe sooner, but a full episode of the genius that is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And because Jack Murphy Stadium is a big part of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they give the rally cry for all the San Diegos to go step on those Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know what I'm thinking?
What?
How much I want to go watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Few people forget that show spawned a sequel and a cartoon show.
It's true. I bet you most of our listeners have never watched it. I'm hoping that by episode 200 we'll have more Padres content to review. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like a gritty HBO drama about like the bullpen that, based out of San Diego. That'd be fun.
That would be.
I don't know what it's about. I already regret saying it's a pitch idea because I would actually hate to see a gritty bullpen drama. But, I suggested it. It's out there. You know
what would be the best drama, the best TV show about a baseball team?
What?
About the bullpen catcher.
Oh, yeah.
He just warms up hitting pitchers all day. He's usually played in the minors for many years, never made it, and he's just a bullpen catcher. That would be a great show to follow somebody.
That'd be fun. Well, James, here's to 100 episodes.
100 episodes.
Congratulations, sir. We did it. And here's to 100 more. And maybe we'll review the World Series DVD, ?
That would be great. And again,
I have to find a DVD player to watch it.
I have a DVD player. Yeah, I actually have 4 DVD players.
Too many DVD players. That's too many.
Let me tell you why.
Okay, I'm ready.
I needed a DVD player because I'm a bit of a cinemaphile. Yeah. I have more than 1,000 Blu-rays and DVDs.
Too many, some would say.
More than 1,000. And my DVD player had died, and I went to go buy one. And wouldn't you know it, they were on sale.
So this is not an excuse to have 4 of them.
Well, this is my thought.
Okay.
I have a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays. And if one of my Blu-rays dies,
yeah.
And typically a Blu-ray player lasts you about 10 years.
Yeah.
I bought 40 years worth of Blu-ray players.
That might be the dumbest thing I've heard all day. But there's no better way to end the show. And until next time, go
Padres.
There it is. Oh, doctor, you can hang a star on that, baby.